something that the Mazer Cup does and that Pete offers. So it's totally worth it. But yeah, I mean, Ken Schramm was the same way. I mean, I'm judging with Ken Schramm, and it was just like, oh, I'm judging at the same table with Ken Schramm. I was like totally losing my mind. Like, oh my God, I look like such a noob, because this was like my first time ever judging, and they sit me at a table with Ken Schramm. And I'm just like, oh, no hell. Yeah, no pressure at all, right? I'm just like flipping out. And Ken's like, dude, relax. Seriously. Just let's talk it through. Let's taste these and we'll discuss it. And so we did. And it was amazing. And I learned so much in one day. I learned more than I had learned in the previous 7 or 8 years of mead making. I learned in one afternoon of hanging out with Ken Schramm. I mean, stunning. Absolutely stunning. And Pete's the same way. There's a lot of judges like that at the Mazer Cup, that are, they're experienced judges. And the cup is really big. And I was on the board for many years, and I stepped down a couple years ago to do some of my own stuff, and ended up getting shanghaied onto the AMMA. So here I am back in the other side, just on the other side of the fence now. So, the neat thing is that we worked really hard and they still do, to pair noob judges with experienced judges, because that's how you learn. Half the judges there are stewards that have been trained up, that came in to just schlep glassware and carry mead out to the tables, and now they're judging. And many of them have become BJCP certified. So, we're kind of like the training grounds. The Mazer Cup is the training grounds for mead judges.
So how did the Mazer Cup land on BJCP as its preferred guideline?
Because the BJCP is the standard, and has been for many, many years. Back when we first started this, BJCP didn't have a lot of mead guidelines. I mean, they had some basic stuff, but they didn't have a mead test or anything. Mazer Cup the staff at the Mazer Cup actually helped create the questions for the mead test. So, we had input. We were also guinea pigged. Some of them, when they did the sample tests before they released it as a official, thing, they guinea pigged us, and I remember sitting there with my tongue stuck between my teeth, sitting on the floor, leaning over a chair, so sitting with my butt on the floor and my paper and the pencil on the chair seat, leaning over it with my tongue stuck out between my teeth, and it's going like, if it's a Tuesday in February and the sun is shining, what kind of yeast would you use for it? It's like, I don't know. They were hard questions, I'll tell you. But it was, it's just crazy. It's like, and so what kind of magic would you use when you were using Montrachet? It's crazy. But so the MCI has been tied up in. What was that?
And then what kind of mead would it produce?
Right, yeah. And then, so how long should you ferment it at 65 degrees on a Tuesday in February while the sun is shining in Florida?
Until it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the questions are crazy difficult, but if you study, they've got a really great study guide. And, if you're fortunate enough to have the opportunity to spend that time, getting involved with it, and you're not afraid to go out and stretch your tasting wings so that you can learn, it's not hard at all, really. It's just a matter of being willing to put in the study time. It's not something you can just like flip out and do, just like blam, okay, I'm gonna go take the test. I mean, I haven't done it yet because I honestly don't have the amount of time I want to put into it to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my bucket list as stuff I want to do, but just it wasn't on the cards this year. But it was funny because the first year we wanted to have the practical, the final exam at the Mazer Cup. We had to pretty much fight the BJCP to get it because everybody wants to hold a test, and getting a date was like pulling teeth. You'd have to get in like a year early just to get the possibility of a date. Now it's a lot easier because we've shown that we can consistently do this and provide a really good atmosphere and good proctors and all that kind of thing. So it's we've become more of a kind of a regular thing. But it's interesting. So yeah, we're all tied up with the BJCP, and we needed a standard to hold to when we first launched this thing. BJCP was there. They had the standard. It needed fleshing out, but it was there. And they've actually, some of the changes that have been made are as a result of some of the changes that we've seen in the MCI and other places.
I used to work on a contract called NMCI, so every time I hear MCI or see it, it's like I have flashbacks.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, it's Mazer Cup has become kind of a bellwether, you know, and I think that's going to continue to happen, like Pete was saying, and because Pete and I we're really good friends, and you know, he and I and several others founded the Mazer Cup together, so I've got, you know, a lot of fingers still, you know, in there. I keep up with what they're up to, and you know, make sure that I'm trying to leverage that into the rest of the mead world, because it's just the smart thing to do. And now that I'm working with the AMMA, Pete and I have got our pinky in the brain plans to take over the mead world. You know?
Well, I love introducing people to mead. So if you come up with a plan of attack and you need an Idaho representative, we would love to try to help people get to know what mead is.
Yeah. Well,
who don't already know.
One of the things that I want to do in my position with the AMMA, and I lean pretty heavily at the board when I have ideas about that, so I basically just kind of harangue them until they give in, but is to provide that sort of framework so that meaderies will have, you know, like kind of a standardized approach, you know. I mean, not that we shouldn't be individualistic, but also that they have a framework within which to hang their individualism so that they can say, hey, you know, here's a way that we can reach out to the people and help more people get, you know, to understand and find the magic that is mead.
Yeah, well, and with all this new territory and so few people are already know what it is, I mean, it's kind of nice for us to know that, you know, we're not alone, and some other people actually already know what mead is.
Exactly. Well, you know, when the Got Mead US tour comes around your way, and I'll have, hopefully by late spring, I will have dates and stuff like that. We'll set something up, and if you guys want me to do like a guest pour for you at some place where you can do a tasting, you know, a festival or a brewery or wherever it is that you want to do it, you just let me know where, and I'll be there.
You know, there's this shop, Homebrew Stuff, that's local, that's already stocking our stuff, and
okay.
They want to host a tasting with us at some point because they've got a tap room.
Okay.
So that would be a great venue.
Tell them you can get the owner of GotMeat.com to come in and pour for you. That she's a personal friend of yours.
On board with that.
Yeah, just tell them that I'm a personal friend of yours, and that you know, I'm driving across the country to come pour for you.
I love that. And thank you for letting me say it that way.
Well, I am in a sense, you know. I mean, I'm visiting a lot of people. I've got I'm doing a co-brew with Falcon Mead in Santa Fe, which he came up with the idea, and I'm like, really? You'd let me do that? That is so cool.
I'm pretty sure if you can facilitate Vicky having mead, you count as a personal friend.
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah. Mm. And I usually get. I mean, I went and I did a guest pour in Oregon when I was out visiting my daughter a couple years ago, and I drove down to. She was out of town, and I was watching the dogs for her because she was on some army thing out in the wilderness. So I left the dogs for the day and drove down to Oregon and did a guest pour for Chrissy Mannion Zarpur at Kuklan Farms, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I enjoyed it. In fact, there's a picture of me doing exactly that in her new book, which was a shot. I didn't know.
Nice.
I'm on page 71. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I didn't know it was going to be in the book. I put in an endorsement for it, but I had no idea it was going to be in the book.
That's cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to do that if it'll help you guys out, and it'll be fun, you know?
That would be great.
As I say, we'd already talked about me swinging by your general direction, and we got to go more or less right past Boise. So. Kind of hard to miss.
I know I can definitely speak for Will on this. We'd love to actually get to physically meet you.
I'd look forward to it. It would be fun.
All right.
Haim, what was that?
Sorry, I was just thinking out loud, actually. Unfortunately, I thought I was muted. But anyway, I have a question. I was going to ask, you've got the one mead out, the Huck Me, at the moment.
Yes.
do you have anything else in the pipeline? And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
We're
did,
actually for traditional right now.
Oh,
It'll
yeah?
be probably hitting people end of April.
okay. What kind of traditional? Sorry.
Just a regular traditional. So just honey, water, yeast. That's
Okay.
basically what you get.
Is it a specific honey or just generic?
We use local honey here. So it's a wildflower honey, but it is an Idaho local honey. So the guys we use, I don't know if you're familiar with Idaho at all, but Melba, Idaho is where we sourced from. And they've got a farm out there, and it's an incredible little outfit they got out there. And when Will and I went out there, it was just like, okay, now we're kind of like in honey heaven. So yeah, we're going to be doing a traditional with that, and that'll be coming out in a couple months here.
Oh, that's excellent.
Nice.
And then at some point after that, probably a couple months after that, because we're artisanal, it's the two of us, so it's as we can get it piped out. But
Sure.
It looks like we'll be hitting raspberry melomel after that.
Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
very nice.
Yeah,
very
I'll be
nice.
hitting you
You know,
guys
Shipper
somewhere
is
in the
gonna be
middle of
busy.
June, so.
I'm going straight from this place to my good computer upstairs and to Vino Shipper.
Yeah, huh? So we could just get you to
Good
order
place
the
to go.
mixed case for Hamish and just have it shipped directly to Miami instead of me having to schlep it all the way down from North Carolina.
There you go.
Right.
That
Before it gets too hot.
Makes the
yes,
Yeah.
great idea.
It's not already too hot?
Depends on the area of the country.
Not for Hamish.
It's hotter here.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's averaging
88
about 8
today.
degrees. I don't know if that's. I don't know how hot it's going to get on the UPS truck or whatever
Sure.
they use. Yeah,
Vino Shipper goes to UPS.
Yeah, they do.
yeah. It's a nice dark brown truck in the hot Miami sun.
Yeah.
I think maybe
Yeah.
maybe North Carolina.
I don't know. It's, by the time I get to say it's been pushing in the 70s here and the sun is shining, so it gets pretty warm outside, but we'll see.
Areas. Well, I guess when the storm hit north of you guys, did it actually hit you guys at all? There was a snowstorm. I
No,
thought.
snow went all north of us. We didn't. We're getting some of the cold weather, and the temps dropped down tonight, and it really never got much above 50 today, which has been in the 70s last couple days. So
So you got cool weather, at least cooler weather.
yeah,
I
well,
guess.
cool-ish. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting because it's late February is usually when we get the last gasp ice storms that whack all of the flowers that are blooming. That that have all gone. Woohoo! It's 70.
Yeah, and it's like, whoops, we
Yeah.
shouldn't have done that yet.
Exactly. You'd think they'd learn, but they never do. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting for that and hoping that it doesn't hit on because I have to leave on March 6th to fly out to Colorado for the AMMA pre-show prep. That and I got Australians and Canadians to pick up at the airport on Tuesday. So
No. No.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but well, it sounds like you guys are up to all kinds of fun. I'm looking forward to come out to see your place and
Now you're going to be expecting something. It's not that impressive yet.
Dude, I've seen places that were. There was one of my favorite meaderies was in a ratty old garage in 25-gallon conical fermenters in Western Virginia,
wow.
and he made this honeysuckle mead that was sublime. Oh, it
That
was
does sound amazing.
so good. He did it out of honeysuckle blossoms. I have tried and failed multiple times to recreate what he did. I can't.
Was
I don't
it
know what he did.
melomel with a honeysuckle honey?
No, honeysuckle flowers, because the honeysuckle was just nuts around there. Honeysuckle's a weed down here. It grows
Right.
like okay, you know how wisteria up where you're at is like a pretty yard tree.
Or like a creeper.
Yeah, here it's a creeper that takes over entire forests. Okay, and honeysuckle's the same way. It's this wild and crazy, gross. Yeah. So, but honeysuckle flowers have nectar in them, like more than your average flower. I mean, like you can actually suck the nectar out of a honeysuckle blossom. And he was collecting like vast piles of them and fermenting those suckers. And oh my God! And then he did this. He had this spruce tip mead that he made that was also just amazing. And sadly, the place didn't make it. He made great mead, but he didn't run a good business, so it didn't survive. Because it was like they had blues bands there.